In the Jikook universe, nothing ever starts loudly. There are no grand confessions, no dramatic scenes meant to be proven. Everything begins in silence, in the space between two steps, in a glance held a second too long, in the way one always slows down so the other is never left behind. Jimin and Jungkook exist in a world where closeness is effortless and comfort is instinctive. Where emotions are not announced but felt. Where love, care, and devotion live in the smallest details. Shared air, mirrored smiles, and quiet moments no camera was ever meant to catch. This universe isn't built on assumptions. It's built on time. On growth. On years of choosing each other again and again even without words. Welcome to the Jikook universe, where the softest moments speak the loudest, and every step forward is taken side by side. That day in Portugal felt different. The sky was still blue, the air still calm, yet something unspoken lingered in every step they took. It was the kind of atmosphere that only appears during departures. The quiet understanding that a place, no matter how beautiful, must eventually be left behind. Bangtan Boys were preparing to leave Portugal, a country that had briefly held them in its gentle rhythm, away from the noise, away from the constant rush. Bangtan Boys leave Portugal. Have a safe trip. Such a simple sentence, yet it carried weight. For them, leaving was never just about moving from one destination to another. It meant closing a chapter. It meant carrying memories forward, quietly without announcement. And so, the Jikook universe never truly ends. It doesn't fade when the lights turn off or when the journey moves to another place. It continues quietly, carried in shared memories, in unspoken understanding, in the way two souls remain connected no matter how far the road stretches. Jimin and Jungkook move forward, not needing promises, not needing explanations. Their bond lives in consistency, in patience, in the comfort of knowing they are never alone. Every goodbye becomes a see you later. Every distance becomes temporary. This universe survives because it is real in the ways that matter. Soft, steady, and enduring. No matter where they go, no matter how time changes them, one thing remains the same. They walk forward together. Always. And somewhere, quietly, the Jikook universe keeps breathing. Waiting for the next moment. The next glance. The next story yet to be told. RM walked slightly ahead, his posture calm, his steps steady. Namjoon always carried an air of thoughtfulness, as if his mind was constantly weaving ideas together. Portugal had given him space. Space to breathe, to observe, to exist without explanation. He had enjoyed the unfamiliar streets, the foreign language, the sense of being just another passerby in a wide world. As they prepared to leave, that sense of calm stayed with him, tucked away where only he could reach it later. Jin followed with his familiar warmth. His smile was easy, reassuring, the kind that softened goodbyes without erasing their meaning. Jin knew how to make departures feel lighter, how to remind everyone that leaving didn't mean loss forever. He joked quietly, making the staff laugh, creating little pockets of comfort in a moment that could have felt heavy. Yet beneath that lightness was someone who understood time better than most. How quickly it passes, how precious every stop along the way truly is. Jikook moved with quiet brightness. Even in transit, his energy never disappeared. It simply settled into something softer. Portugal had painted itself into his memory through small details. The way the sunlight hit old stone walls, the relaxed pace of the streets, the calm that followed long schedules. He absorbed it all instinctively, knowing that someday these memories would resurface in music, movement, or laughter shared later. V walked at his own rhythm, eyes drifting upward, outward, everywhere at once. Taeyong had a way of seeing the world as art, and Portugal felt like a living gallery to him. Old buildings, muted colors, slow afternoons, it all felt cinematic. As he walked toward departure, there was a slight pause in his steps, as if he wanted to take one last mental photograph before moving on. Suga remained quiet, his expression unreadable to anyone who didn't know him well. Yet in that silence lived depth. Yoongi appreciated Portugal for its stillness, for the absence of noise that usually surrounded him. It was the kind of peace that seeped in slowly and stayed. Leaving meant taking that peace with him, storing it carefully for moments when he would need it most. And then there were Jimin and Jungkook. If the world calls them Jikook, it's because something undeniable always exists between them. Something subtle, natural, never forced. That morning, Jimin walked a little slower than the others. His expression was soft, his eyes gentle, as if he was quietly saying goodbye to the place in his own way. Jimin always connected deeply with atmospheres, with emotions woven into spaces. Portugal had left a mark on him even if he never said it out loud. Jungkook noticed immediately. Without thinking, without calling attention to it, he adjusted his pace. He slowed down, closing the distance between them. It wasn't a grand gesture. Didn't need to be. It was instinct, an unconscious decision to stay close, especially during moments of transition. Jungkook had always been like that. When Jimin lingered, Jungkook waited. Portugal wasn't just another stop for Jikook. Somewhere between schedules and quiet moments, there were shared laughs behind closed doors, brief silences that felt comfortable, and glances that didn't need explanation. Not everything was meant to be seen. Not everything needed to be posted. Their bond lived in the in-between moments, the ones that never made headlines but stayed etched in memory. As they waited, Jimin turned his head slightly. His gaze met Jungkook's. No words passed between them, just a small smile, fleeting yet sincere. Jungkook returned it effortlessly, his expression warm, familiar. To the outside world it might have looked ordinary. To them it was enough. Have a safe trip, Jimin. Have a safe trip, Jungkook. Those words echoed softly, not just from fans, but from the space they had occupied together. Jimin carried that care openly, his heart always worn close to the surface. Jungkook carried it quietly, storing it deep inside, letting it guide him forward. They moved together again, all 7 of them. Different personalities, different emotions, yet one shared journey. Portugal became a small but meaningful chapter in a much larger story. Not loud, not dramatic, but gentle and sincere. A chapter they might only fully understand the value of years later. When the plane finally lifted off, there was no dramatic farewell. No lingering wave. Just a collective understanding that the journey continues. That Bangtan never stops. They simply move on, carrying everything with them. The Jikook universe moved forward too. Not as a fantasy but as a reflection of a bond shaped by time, trust, and shared growth. Portugal was left behind physically, but its traces remained. In memories, in hearts, and in the quiet way Jimin and Jungkook continued to walk side by side. Bangtan Boys leave Portugal. Have a safe trip, Jimin. Have a safe trip, Jungkook. Have a safe trip, RMV J-Hope, Jin and Suga. The road stretches on. The story isn't over. And the world will keep watching, waiting for the next moment. Soft, sincere, and unforgettable.